I am in Chicago, Illinois to visit a lesser-known museum, Klairmont Kollections. This is an auto museum in an unsuspecting location within the Windy City. I only found out about this place recently, and it turns out to be one of the hidden gems of Chicago. The museum is housed inside of a massive structure, a former printing plant. Now it is home to over 300 antique cars and a whole lot more, so there's a lot to see. Alright, we're starting off with a 1919 Ford TT fire engine. The bell on this fire truck is from an authentic 1890s San Francisco streetcar. There's a little recreated fire station and a police station. Like many auto museums, this one makes good use of weird wax mannequins. And there's a vintage police motorcycle. Holy, this place is amazing. This does not appear to be just a car museum, as there's an airplane hovering above this fantastic lineup of antique autos. So Klairmont Kollections was the creation of Larry Klairmont, a World War II veteran who became a multimillionaire through Chicago real estate. He collected hundreds of cars and other antiques throughout his life, which he originally stored in various buildings across Chicago. But eventually he got a hold of this colossal printing plant and squeezed everything under one roof. He opened his private collection to the public in 2019. Larry Klairmont passed away not too long ago in the summer of 2021, but it's great to see his awesome collection continuing on. They don't seem to do much in the way of advertising, so this place definitely slips under the radar. This is a unique 1940 Ford Model 1A Rolston Brougham town car. It was custom ordered by super rich residents of the Waldorf Astoria in New York. Here's a fantastic panoramic photograph of the 1933 Century of Progress Exposition in Chicago. That is a portrait of Harvey Firestone. And that looks like a scrap depiction of Disneyland's castle. Off to the side there is a maritime themed room, with some model ships and other relics. This wall contains a display on the Titanic. I believe this is the oldest car in the collection, a 1902 Oldsmobile Model R. This is a very ornate wood-carved clock. This is a replica of the 1867 Roper steam cycle, the first motorcycle, which was basically a bicycle with a self-propelling coal-fired boiler engine. This is a 1940 Graham supercharged Hollywood sedan. There is a Route 66 display. Of course, the Mother Road begins here in Chicago, but this is actually really interesting. There is a recreation of the facade of the Cucamonga service station within the museum. The Cucamonga station is a historic 1915 service station on Route 66 in Rancho Cucamonga, California, so it's basically at the opposite end of Route 66 from here. I have not been there yet, so seeing this replication among all these vintage cars is awesome. Just saying, this museum would make for a heck of a first or last museum on a Route 66 road trip, even though it is not technically on Route 66. Looks like this car is getting serviced at the Cucamonga station. There are a bunch of mopeds in there. That's a 1947 Pontiac Streamliner Fastback. And there's another plane. Here is a 1947 Chrysler Town & Country sedan with a two-toned wood exterior. This red car is a 1949 Chrysler Town & Country convertible. That is a fantastic Pontiac neon sign. I like the Sphinx hood ornament. This 1960 car is from Queen Elizabeth II's parade lineup. Princess Margaret rode in this one. This retro taxi from 1952 is awesome. Wow, this car is absolutely beautiful. It is a one-of-a-kind 1937 Rolls-Royce Phantom 3 Aero Coupe. These are little statuettes of the Spirit of Ecstasy, the mascot of Rolls-Royce. This is the Lake Michigan Lady, a 1933 Rolls-Royce Phantom 2 skiff-bodied roadster, composed of mahogany wood. Seems flammable, but that is really remarkable. This is a rare Tucker 48, which was produced here in Chicago. However, the Tucker company did not last long. I'm not sure who this guy is or where he's from. There's a little neon Vegas Vic from Fremont Street. This Honda Goldwing motorcycle was used in the 1995 film Tall Tale. The Unbelievable Adventures of Pecos Bill starring Patrick Swayze. It looks like a cross between a steam boiler and a Roman chariot. This is a customized 1950 Studebaker called the Ice Princess, complete with a bubble top. Here are some more bubble top cars from the 1950s, which are really awesome. This is a 1960 Ford Spaceliner bubble top. Here's a futuristic looking 1962 Vortex X2000, which could reach 150 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats. It could also do 90-degree turns at 60 miles per hour. This is a 2002 Lincoln Continental concept car that was shown at the Los Angeles Car Show. The red car is a 1929 Kissel 8126 White Eagle Speedster. This one's a doozy, a 1932 Duesenberg dual cowl Phaeton, a very luxurious car that was produced in Auburn, Indiana. There are some vintage penny arcade games back there, like Shake with Uncle Sam. This is an antique band box featuring the world's smallest band, though sadly it's not operational. They call this one the Hope Diamond of antique cars. It's a 1920 Pierce Arrow that was custom ordered and designed for a collector. It was reportedly the world's most expensive automobile ever when it was produced, and it was further embellished by its original owner to effectively turn it into a piece of jewelry. Its body panels are authentic 23 karat gold, and the hood and fenders are made of nickel. This one is pretty spectacular, a literal car made of gold. This is a 1916 Detroit Electric Brougham, an early electric car. This is a 1928 Hispano-Suiza Bowtail Speedster. Hispano-Suiza was a Spanish automotive firm that produced incredibly luxurious cars. That is a 1921 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, in complete original condition. It's next to a 1927 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1. Here's another Phantom 1 from 1929. This design replaced the Silver Ghost. This is a fabulous Fomoco pickup. There's yet another bubble top. Here is a 1931 Cadillac V12 convertible coupe by the Fleetwood Company. This orange 1934 LaSalle convertible coupe was inspired by the Hispano-Suiza. This car is awesome. It's a Barrister, one of the 12 custom Corvettes built by George Barris, the king of customizers. This one may have been owned for a time by Liberace. This is one of George Barris's masterpieces, the Golden Sahara 2. This incredible custom was based on a 1953 Lincoln Capri. It has all trimmed 24 karat gold, pearl finish, glowing wheels, as well as complete voice-controlled operation, a cocktail bar, and a TV set. There are plenty more attractions to see at Klairmont Kollections. There are more creepy mannequins in this exhibit. Looks like this is a cabaret performer next to this 1971 Volkswagen Beetle. That's a classic VW Safari microbus from 1963. There's a random guy inside. Wonder what he's doing in the hippie van. Oh my gosh, this place just keeps on surprising. I was not expecting all of this. That's an interesting vintage ice cream truck. It might be from a beach boardwalk. Here's a 1957 Plymouth Fury. The walls from this room are lined with neon signs. Oh heck yeah! Here's a classic hot dog and popcorn wagon. Basically an early food truck. They don't have a placard for this, but this has got to be from the early 1900s. I really like that clown that would turn the popcorn. This is a 1999 Shelby Roadster, designed and autographed by Carroll Shelby. Here is Smokey Unix Experimental Turbo with a NOS high performance engine. That's a 1969 Indy 500 pace car. Alright, this is the most vast showroom of Klairmont Kollections. Here's an antique Chicago police car. There's a lot of really old cars back here. Looks like there's an old-timey bar set up in the corner. This is unique. It's a 1928 Graham Page long wheelbase limousine turned into a trackless train. This would be used by movie theaters and other companies as traveling advertisements. Looks like Larry Klairmont may have used this for his real estate company. This amazing 1939 Chevrolet truck was a delivery truck for the Chicago Daily Times. This is a 1905 Rapid 9-passenger omnibus Surrey, complete with fringe on top. That is a Ford Model T depot hack. These were produced between 1919 and 1923. Here's an old school postal truck from 1929. There's an oil truck next to a Stutz car. This is a huge version of the Rolls-Royce Spirit of Ecstasy. This 1974 Excalibur SS Phaeton was owned by Jackie Gleason. He personally chose the bizarre lemon yellow color. Gleason apparently loved this car a lot, but eventually he physically outgrew it. That is a 1956 Pontiac Star Chief convertible. Oh wow, this is cool. The only 1952 Cadillac Series 75 Durham limo. This car was personally used by General Dwight D. Eisenhower during the 1952 presidential campaign, though it was not used as a presidential limo after he won. This 1938 Cadillac sedan was purchased new by Mae West, the popular vaudeville singer and actress. There's a wax figure of Mae West in her former car. Here's an antique carnival organ, not sure where it used to be. And here's a classic Zoltan fortune teller. There's some jukeboxes. And here is the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley. That is a gorgeous 1959 Eldorado Biarritz. This is a customized Ford Speedstar. Here are Chicago's own Blues Brothers, and that seat is very creative. This 1890s chair was used to weigh the jockey and their saddle prior to a horse race. I wasn't expecting to see this here. This is the supposed electric chair that was used at the infamous Sing Sing prison in Ossining, New York. All executions in the state of New York were done at Sing Sing, so 614 men and women were executed in this chair. The last one was in 1963. Now, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum in Farmington Hills, Michigan also claims to have the Sing Sing electric chair, so I'm not sure if this is legit or not. How cool is this? It's a 1983 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur that is covered by over 1 million blue and white Swarovski crystals. It took 5 full-time setters 7 months to individually hand lay each crystal. That is amazing. Below the Pegasus, Maryland is being a bit exposed by a subway grate. This 2000 Zimmer was owned by Shaquille O'Neal. Behind Shaq's car is Michael Jordan's car, a 2006 Bentley. This 1957 Ford Thunderbird came with a special bird nest. Here's an antique tuk-tuk from 1969, still street legal in Thailand. Here are some unusual custom cars, including the Sea Lion, which is currently the world's fastest amphibious car that can top 60 miles per hour on water and 180 on land. These silver bullets are next to some Las Vegas neon and vintage gambling machines. This is a roadside aircraft, a hybrid vehicle that combines flying with driving. So yes, this is a real flying car that can get reliably airborne apparently. This drive-in tableau is fantastic, complete with creepy mannequins. This is a recreation of the classic 1966 Batmobile from the TV series. The original was designed by George Barris. Now, I've seen a lot of these at different auto museums, but they claim that this is the most perfect replica of the Batmobile. I believe this is a recreation of the Batman Returns Batmobile. Robin is stuck on the sidecar of the Batcycle. Here's a recreated hot dog diner. These are pretty popular here in Chicagoland. That's a former A&W drive-in menu with a speaker. This is an unusually low 1950 Mercury lead sled street rod. This purple car belonged to Helen Brock, who is known as the Candy Heiress, as she obtained the Brock Candy Company fortune. However, she mysteriously disappeared in 1977. She was murdered, probably by the mob, but her body has never been found. At the time of her disappearance, this car was parked in front of her mansion at Glenview. Here's Ronald McDonald, who I believe is now retired. These recreated facades hold a little museum within a museum. This is the Made in Chicago Museum, which documents the wide variety of everyday objects that were produced and manufactured in Chicago during the industrial heyday. Everything from musical instruments to radios were produced here. Lots of candy and gum was made in Chicago as well, including Wrigley products. Yeah, clearly a lot of stuff was produced in the Chicago area. There are lots of antique clocks in here. This is the Veterans Room, a display of military memorabilia. Larry Klairmont was a World War II vet who was at Saipan and Iwo Jima. I am now on the second floor. It's not nearly as big, but there's several exhibits to see. Here's an aerial view of all the cars in front of the Cucamonga station, and a closer look at that plane. That is a replica Focke-Wulf 190, with some original parts. These planes were used by the Luftwaffe during the early years of World War II. They dominated European skies throughout 1939 and 1940. This section contains some of the oldest cars in the collection, like this 1906 Model K touring car. Here's a 1906 American Tourist Auto, which was Harry Stutz's first production car out of Indianapolis. This is a 1910 Buick touring car. That is a 1912 Little Roadster, the predecessor to Chevrolet cars. Here is a 1908 Hupmobile. This is the best known model of a 1931 Ford Model A Vittoria in existence. This 1929 car was named after Teddy Roosevelt. Those are some Willys Jeeps. This is a 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, one of the most coveted sports cars of all time. Here is an authentic DeLorean. That company failed rapidly, so there are only so many produced. However, it seems that DeLoreans in their original condition are more rare than those converted into Back to the Future time machines. Here's a little antique Coca-Cola truck. They are restoring a Dragula from the Munsters in the workshop. This is a 1936 BMW 319 Cabriolet. Here's a fanciful 1950 Jaguar MKV. There's a gas station attendant dummy next to an antique Sunoco pump. Here's a Citroën 2CV from 1956. This was one of the mass-produced post-war cars like the Beetle. There are some race cars over here, including a 1953 Allard Sports Roadster. They even have a model railway here, featuring a variety of Western scenes like Mount Rushmore. Neil Young actually owned this model railway at one point. Sadly, it doesn't work. The trains are not running. That is a 1956 Lotus 11 Series 1 sports racing car. It was raced around Europe in the late 1950s. This is a restored 1930 Ford Model A motorhome with an outhouse trailer, depicting how some families lived in their cars like this during the Great Depression. This is an interesting tableau. There are cannibal chickens eating KFC in the back seat. The final exhibit is all about microcars, vehicles with small bodies and small engines, which were more popular in Europe, so most of these are European, but there are some American builds as well. Here's a 1931 German Hanomag coupe, one of few in existence. This is a 1957 Cyclops 2 microcar, part microcar and part go-kart. It's even wearing a little hat. Here's a 1959 King 3-wheeled microcar made of fiberglass. This is an electric runabout called the Taylor-Dunn Trident from 1960. That is a 1957 Messerschmitt. I'm not sure if I could fit in there. And this Checkmate microcar has an unfortunate color. So that was Klairmont Kollections. I am blown away by this place. I was not expecting it to be that mammoth-sized, and to have such great and unique cars and artifacts. It is certainly among the best museums in Chicago, and is now one of my favorite auto museums. Northern Illinois was already home to both of my favorites, Volo and historic auto attractions, so it's worth visiting the area just for the immense car museums alone. Definitely come and visit this museum for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Also take a look at my other videos featuring zany auto museums like this, as well as other roadside attractions, museums, national parks, and more, here in the Chicago area, as well as across the United States of America and elsewhere. Thanks for watching.